My name is Emily Schaub, and I'm the Teen Services Manager at the Peru Library. Thank you all for coming tonight to our second of a four-part series on mindfulness and meditation. Tonight, Jessie is going to be giving you a little bit of an idea of living in tune with nature. I'm going to let her describe it. I'm sure I won't do it justice. But before that, I'm going to turn it over to Abby, the owner of Unwind, who we are partnering with for this series. And I will turn it over to Abby and Jessie, and I'm looking forward to this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Emily. Yes, this is the second week of our series, and today we have an incredible individual who's going to be presenting. Her name is Jessie Minnie. She'll tell you everything that you need to know about herself, but I hope that you enjoy this week's mindfulness meditation with Jessie Minnie.
All right. So this week we're doing living in tune with nature. So I first got kind of more into this when I started self-studying Ayurveda, which literally it means the science of life or the knowledge of life. And when doing this, I was finding that there are several patterns in nature. And this doesn't mean that we have to go outside and live in the woods and become, I don't know, super outdoors people. It just means that we have to start paying a little more attention to what nature's doing and what patterns are there. And usually we have our own cycles every day. Like you have your own routine every single day. And what I kind of want you to ask yourself is, does that routine work for you? Do you have plenty of energy every day? Are you feeling great? Are you happy? Are you motivated? Like, what does your day look like? Go through your mind and just take a second and think, what does my day really do for me? Is it helpful, or is my routine more of like a hindrance to what I'm trying to accomplish? So if you have a great routine already and you feel motivated, happy, and you have like a strong work day and you're able to get through everything perfectly fine, that's great. If there's some things you would like to change, then you might want to take a look at living in tune with nature and see how it could work for you. So we're looking at cycles. Most people, we wake up every day, right? We have a cycle of when we wake up and then when we go back to sleep. That's one thing I think we can all kind of relate to. You have certain times a day when you eat. Most of us have, set times. Some of us are more sporadic, and I will tell you it's good to have set times and not be so sporadic. Let's go through. I'm forgetting to use my PowerPoint here, and it's so helpful to use. So does your daily routine help or hinder the way you live your life? We kind of just went over that. So we're going to just skip ahead to the third one. So what is your day like? Where do you find the rhythms? And like I said, we have usually a set time to get up in the morning and go to sleep. And we have our times where we eat. There's cycles that we see throughout nature, like the seasons, changing of the seasons. We have summer, fall, winter, and spring. Here in Illinois, we see them all. We get all the seasons, we get all the weather. We have to adapt to a lot of things. So we also see moon cycles, right? Every month we have cycles in the moon, and this does affect our bodies. I'm not going to go too much into moon cycles today. I'm just going to pick a couple, but I will say, is it common knowledge maybe that the moon affects the water, the tides? We are a large percent of our body is water. So yes, the moon cycles do affect us. The sunrise and sunset, that affects us as well. Many of us, most people in the world get up during the day and they go to bed at night. I know there's people who work night shift, and we have our night owls. It's healthier to rise with the sun and set with the sun. We'll kind of go over that too. There are dietary cycles. Our digestive system is stronger at certain points of the day, and there's times when we're supposed to take a break from eating and let the liver detox our body and do some work there. So that's also going to coincide with our sleep cycles and the cycle of life. We're born, we live, and everybody dies. So we see all these cycles in nature, and there's a way to make these work for us, and there's a way that they can kind of hinder us if we want to try and go against these cycles. Nature provides these things for us. So we want to use that energy. We want to harness that natural energy and let it flow through us and flow with us in our daily lives. So let's start talking about the seasons. So most of us experience changing seasons. I think everybody here is from Illinois, so you know what I'm talking about when I talk about the seasons. We're kind of going through that right now, right? We're going through spring into summer, and it's been chilly, and I haven't quite adapted yet. I don't know if anybody else has. So let's start with spring since we're here. Spring is more of a damp, cold season. We get into some warmer weather. Sometimes like later in the spring, we should be seeing warmer weather now, but we're hit or miss. So does anybody know, I don't know if anybody wants to like chime in with answering some questions, but does anybody know what we can do to balance some of the natural energy we see with spring? So we're cold, we're damp, we're rainy. What can we do to balance that out? Does anybody know, have any guesses?
Would like light therapy help?
Yeah, light therapy would help because our days are getting longer, so we are getting increasing sunlight, but we're not all the way there. We're not all the way where we can get our skin exposed to the sunlight and make all that good vitamin D that we're supposed to do. So sunlight therapy does help. If you can sit in a window during the day, I know they make those sun lamps that are like, they're not like tanning beds. They don't tan you, but they do allow that UV exposure so you can make your vitamin D, which most of us are deficient in this time of year. So yeah, sunlight therapy helps. The food that we eat helps. So when we see the different seasons, we want to kind of pay attention to what food is being offered to us in what season. Does anybody know some of the foods that grow this time of year, early spring? Like what do we see popping up? Does anybody have an idea? Anybody garden or get their own food?
Well, is sage? Sage is coming up right now.
Sage is coming up. Sage is an herb we can use, and it is coming up. So we see a lot of like crispy vegetables like lettuce, or lettuce should be coming up, radishes. Yeah, there's a lot of foods that usually you plant early and then they're available here, because crispy is going to be the opposite of like damp, right? Damp, you think kind of like soggy, mushy. So we're going opposite, and the opposite balances. So when we have that cold, moist air, we're looking for crispy foods, or for things that are warm too, because we're still kind of cold. So you think of something that's warming, that's going to help you through the springtime. So that's kind of just like a quick little overview of like what's going to balance you in the springtime. If we look at summer, I bet more people can think of some examples for summer, like summer's hot. And in Illinois, it can be really humid, but it can be hot and dry too. Does anybody have any examples of foods we can eat in the summertime to help? What do we want to do? Cool us down, right? Because summer's hot.
Watermelon.
Yeah, watermelon. Watermelon's
I love my
great
fruits.
Yeah. So in summer, we're looking at hot weather. For some of it, I love hot weather. So for me, I don't like need that balance, but there's a lot of people who get overheated easily. Like my husband, does not like the hot summer weather. So he's going to be looking to balance his fire energy with things that are cooler, cooling foods. Like you think watermelon, you think cucumber, cool as a cucumber, things like that. You want to drink plenty of water, right? Then when we get to fall, we're seeing the dry and windy, it cools down. What do we see a lot of in the fall? What does everybody rave about in the fall? Like the coffee companies. Pumpkin spice. We got pumpkin spice everything. So in the fall, we start to harvest a lot of things like squash, apples, pears. So that's what nature is providing for us at the time. And if we look into that and see, okay, what foods are available and abundant at this time, that's probably what you should be eating for the season. So when you're starting to get out of whack, like the fall kind of gets to me a little bit because the chill, like you get that chill in your bones and that windy weather, you want to warm up. So you're choosing warming foods and spices. Here's pumpkin spice. So people are using a lot of like cinnamon and other spices to warm them up. And the same thing kind of goes for winter and fall, like fall goes into winter and we're still cold. And even colder and windier yet a lot of times. So you're still looking for that pumpkin spice latte or whatever you like for your warming foods, hot chocolate. So those are balancing foods. And that's a way to go through the seasons, go through natural cycles and adapt with them. Because living is all about adapting. As we go through life, things are going to happen. We're going to see changes all the time. But when we go through natural changes, like with the seasons, we're seeing things are provided for us. Mother Nature is providing for us. We just have to tune in and look and watch and see what's there. And a lot of times with technology and things, we overlook a lot of these things. So if we slow down and pay attention, we're going to pick up on what we need to keep ourselves balanced. All right, let's get into daily cycles. So when I first got into this, I didn't like it. I worked a job for a lot of years where I had to get up at, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I would take sleep any way I could get it. I would sleep, I'd take naps during the day. I would just do anything I could to get sleep. And I realized really you have to design your life in a way that makes you healthy long-term. And doing things that are sporadic, long-term aren't healthy. When you're young, you're resilient, you can do it. But as you get older, over time, it catches up. And it's not even just because you're getting older. It's just because you're not in balance for so long, so many years of your life. And just being in balance catches up to us. It's not even old age. Like people say all the time, oh, I'm just getting old, or it's hell to get old. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But it's heck to get old. It's not. It's just you need to figure out how to balance yourself. So daily cycles, rise and set with the sun. There is a little leeway here because obviously we know in the summertime, the days get longer, right? So if we really do this, we would be getting up pretty early and the sun it's not really dark until 10 o'clock at night, which is okay. But I'm just saying there is a little leeway if you need to get more sleep. So what are we doing during the day? Like what kind of cycles are we going through during the day that can help us have more energy, help us be healthier, and help balance us? So one thing you can do is watch what times you eat. So does anybody know when the biggest meal of the day should be eaten? I'm trying to make sure it's not on my PowerPoint here. But anybody want to take a guess?
Is it supposed to be lunchtime?
It's lunchtime. Lunchtime is when we're supposed to take in the most amount of food. It's because your digestive system is strong. There should be more fire energy there. And that helps to digest the food and get things moving. And that's 10 to 2 during the day. So you're getting up. It'd be great to get up at 6 a.m., but I know everybody's, you know, we all have our different things going on, and the body needs time to wake up. So when you eat breakfast, it should be a little bit smaller of a meal because your body's not really set to digest a large quantity of food. It's just you eat what can get you to the next meal. So you're not starving, but it's just you're comfortable until the next meal. We're in kind of like a slower body state. Things aren't all the way up yet. And then when we get to the 10 o'clock hour in the morning, then the digestive system starts to wake up and you can digest that food. And then you want to slow down towards the end of the night too. You really don't want to be eating much food after 8 o'clock at night. And if you can see on the PowerPoint at 10 p.m., the liver starts to filter toxins. This is really important because we take in toxins every day, just environmental toxins. There's toxins in our food. Depending on the food you choose, there may be more or less, but the liver has a big job to do at night, and getting rid of those toxins, getting them out of your system is really important for the next day. If we get a buildup of toxins, we start to see there can be little things like you might get acne. There can be bigger things like you start to get arthritis, or you might start to get like chronic disease if you have a buildup of toxins in your body. So it's really important to be slowing down with eating at 8 o'clock at night and start to wind down. Your liver also only does this when you're sleeping. Efficiently does this when you're sleeping. So if you're not sleeping by 10 o'clock, that 10 to 2, those hours where you're supposed to be filtering toxins, it's not going to happen like it should be. So that's why we have this nighttime, dark sleeping. We're not supposed to be out and about in the nighttime. We can't see in the dark like some of your nocturnal animals can. We're not designed for that. We're designed to be out when it's light, find food when it's light, do what we need to when it's light. And when the sun sets, we're supposed to be letting our body rest so it can heal itself. So let's see. Yes, and at 6 o'clock in the morning, and that's when your serotonin should kick in. If you guys don't know, serotonin is like your wake up hormone. That's what kicks in to help you wake up. And then your melatonin helps you fall asleep. So about 8 o'clock, that's supposed to kick in too. Can you guys kind of see how the cycles would go throughout the day? Like you wake up, serotonin kicks in, then later in the day, your digestive system's strong, you eat your bigger meal, then you're starting to wind down at 8 o'clock and the melatonin's kicking in, okay? So there's these cycles every day that are going on. If you can keep yourself on a regular sleep cycle, this is gonna work really well for you. Your body's gonna know what to do. Your body's gonna be able to keep itself healthy because it's working in a natural way. If you go against this and be sporadic, your body's gonna get confused. It's not gonna know when to, like, should I produce melatonin right now or should I not? It's not gonna know. And that's when you start to have like some immune stuff going on, and you might be more prone to getting sick, or other things could go wrong too. So this is just a great way to keep yourself healthy. Let's go on. So how does meditation tie into this? We were just talking, I'm gonna flip back to the last screen, and you see that the 2 to 6 hour there where it says the nervous system is more active and there's increased brain activity. So that's 2 to 6 in the afternoon and 2 to 6 at night. Oh no, I see there's a, okay, hold on. Okay. Oh, I thought, okay. So somebody is asking what to do if we don't follow an accurate sleep cycle, or what will happen. I'm having trouble seeing the question, but I want to answer it the right way. So
yeah, so
Sorry, I wrote it and I was just wondering, like, a lot of times when I'm talking to students, they struggle with sleeping at night, like that they're really wakeful and like, just, I guess that's a really common issue. So I was just curious. I'm sure meditation is going to play a role in that, obviously, but I wasn't sure if there's other things as well to help offset that.
As far as like what it can do if you don't sleep right, or ways to get yourself back in the swing of things.
Yeah, like ways to get back in a proper cycle would be super helpful.
Yep. So one thing you can do is get up early. Because if you start to get up early, anybody who gets up at 5 or 6 in the morning is going to know that around 8 o'clock, you're tired. You're not going to want to do much more. And I know for students, this can be hard, especially when you're in school, then there's after school activities and homework. That's a really, really difficult time for students, for kids, because they have so much going on. And part of it might be, you might have to cut some stuff out. I know that's not what everybody wants to hear. Or get up early instead of sleeping in till like maybe the last minute and you're hitting snooze 5 times and you jump out of bed and you have to rush off. If you get up a little bit early, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe you can take care of a few things before you have to be at school or work. And then you're a little more grounded for the day too. You're less sporadic if you give yourself plenty of time in the morning. Usually getting up in the morning is like what sets our tone for the day. And if you jump out of bed and you're trying to rush, your whole day is going to feel chaotic because you're not grounded. You just kind of pushed yourself into the world. You didn't give yourself any time. So I would say get up early and give yourself some time. I was going to go over meditation, which I know school probably starts about 8 o'clock, I'm thinking. It'd be really awesome if teachers started doing meditations at school in the morning for their kids.
That's a good point. We actually start at 7:45, but I think students are allowed in at 7:30. So that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Like and maybe even something to offer kids. I don't know if it would have to be mandatory, but say, I know it'd probably have to be somebody volunteering to do this, like to lead a 15-minute meditation where people are just able to kind of center themselves. When I went to school for massage therapy, we centered ourselves every day. So when we started class, we all sat down and we took turns leading a guided meditation, or I will say centering, because it wasn't a whole long meditation. It was maybe 5 minutes, check in with your body, release what you don't need, and start to tune in, activate your brain to be ready to learn or receive whatever you're going to receive for the day. So that's huge. I will say getting up in the morning at a proper time to give yourself enough time to breathe, maybe do some stretching, eat a good breakfast, and get yourself centered. That's going to really kick off your day. And then it's going to make you ready for bed at night because you got up so early. I promise it will happen for anyone who knows, like, they get up that early. Any other questions, or did I cover that appropriately?
Yep, yeah, that was awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good. So we're going to go. Okay, so meditation. I'll flip to the next screen in a moment. I just want you guys to see where it says 2 to 6 o'clock. Now that's both AM and PM that the nervous system is more active and there's increased brain activity. So at night, at 2 o'clock in the morning, this is when you're more likely to be dreaming. So that's like your REM sleep. If you dream, you remember it. You probably did it here. It doesn't mean that's the only time you dream, but this is when your brain is going to be much more active. And also PM, so 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. is a really great time to focus mentally. So actually, it's almost like school's not quite designed properly for what our bodies should be going through, and that's nobody's fault really. It's just kind of the way the day goes. But at 2 o'clock, you're going to be more ready to like kick in with your brain if you're doing everything the way you should. Now, if you like consume a lot of caffeine in the morning, it might offset that by, you might have like brain fog in the afternoon because you've added chemicals to your body in the morning. But if you're able to get up and start doing it naturally, then you're going to see that that time would work well to start engaging yourself mentally. And I feel like this time isn't always the greatest for meditation because sometimes with our nervous system being active, we have too much going on in our brain. And it's actually nicer if we can meditate around 8 o'clock in the morning, because the brain's less active as far as like the nervous system being a little crazy. So you have like this mellower brain. It's easier. I wish I would have put the brain waves here, because we have these different brain waves that we go through. Like beta brain waves are like really crazy when we're like thinking about a million things, trying to do all this stuff at once. And you kind of keep dropping down into nicer, smoother brain waves as you get into meditation. And it's easier to be there at like your 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, because there's less activity. It's easier to be clear. When you're meditating, you want to be clear. So this ties into, like, I can't see everything on my PowerPoint, but I have a pretty good idea of what I mean to say. So if you eat the proper foods for the proper seasons, you're more likely to be more balanced, and you're not going to be as chaotic in your brain. You're balancing your body, you're balancing your hormones when you eat properly for the seasons and put less chemicals in your body. And like I was saying before, the time of day you meditate does matter because of the brain activity. It's easier to get in those slower brain waves when it's appropriate for your body. And if you sleep at the right times, you'll naturally get there. So I have that morning time between 6 to 10 is the best time to meditate. Does anybody have any more questions? Because we are going to go into a meditation, but I want to make sure I cover everything before we do the meditation, or make sure you guys feel comfortable with what I was talking about. But if I don't hear anything from anybody, we'll go into a meditation.
I don't have any questions. I think it's great. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Because it is like, it's after 6. So yeah, let's do meditation. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and play this for you. You guys just find a comfortable spot. I see that everybody's camera is pretty much off, so nobody can see anybody. You can lay down, you can sit down, just get comfortable, close your eyes, and we're going to go through a guided meditation. I'm Jessie Meany. I'm reaching out to share a peace meditation with everyone today. Now, I know that finding peace throughout our day can be a little bit difficult, especially if we have a tendency to micromanage, want to be in complete control of our day, or manipulate things. I would find this with myself and in my practice because I do run a scheduling system. I have to be at certain places at certain times, and sometimes I think that I need to juggle my schedule around to make things fit better for my day, instead of just letting things go and letting the day unfold and evolve naturally. So now that I do try and take a step back, there's a lot less stress in my life. I'm not busying myself unnecessarily by trying to rearrange my day to make it look better or flow better for myself. And when I do this, it just flows better, just in general. So I'm just asking you to sit back for a few minutes. We're going to take this time to try and find peace and stability, and just let our day flow a little more naturally without trying to control everything. And this is how we're going to work to find peace in our day. Okay, so go ahead and find a comfortable spot. You can be sitting, lying down, as long as you're not going to fall asleep during the meditation. Go ahead and start by taking a few deep breaths in and out. Relax your mind. Try and empty out all thoughts for the time being. Take another deep breath in and out. And right now I want you to focus on your throat chakra. Focus on the area of your throat, your communication center of your body. As you're there, imagine the color blue, a blue wave pulsing from your throat chakra. As you're there, picture the word peace. Envision the word. What does it look like? What colors do you see with it? Is it big and bold? Is it small and delicate? What does the word peace look like for you? As you're there in your throat chakra and imagining the word peace, imagine it's radiating out of your body. It's a calm feeling. It's a steady feeling. There's nothing more to do here. Just feel peace. Just for this day, I don't want you to rearrange your schedule. I don't want you to rush. If you're running behind, let yourself run behind. Remind yourself you are in no hurry. And let peace wash over your body. Imagine it like a stream, flowing and cleansing everything around you, the physical sense of your body and the energetic part of your body. You're laying immersed in a stream. It's flowing and washing everything away. The only thing you're holding on to is peace. And when you let everything wash away, you don't even have to hold on that hard. Peace will just be there. Peace is that calming feeling when nothing else is calling to you. Nothing is urgent. You're in the most comfortable spot right now. Take a few moments while you're laying in your stream and continue to envision that blue light or blue color radiating out of your chakra, out of your throat chakra. And let peace be there. Let that be the only thing you focus on just for a few moments. As you open your eyes and get prepared for the day, don't change a single thing about it. Let everything that comes at you flow into your life and take it from there. Don't try and change anything before it's coming. Don't try to manipulate anything. If you've heard the phrase, Let it go and flow. That's what this means. It means just let the day unfold and take each moment at a time. Don't try and plan too far ahead. You might have a meeting or something to do later, but that's later. Focus on where you are at the moment and what you're doing at the time. When you're driving, and that's all. When you're cooking or making supper, that's all you're doing. One thing at a time. This is how you find peace in your life. This is how you stop from overexerting yourself. Let the day unfold and find peace in your mind and peace in your heart. To conclude, I'm going to read a prayer for peace. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. Thank you for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your day. All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes, indeed.
Are you back? So how did you do with the meditation? Was everybody okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
good.
children say yes.
Good. I love it. I love it. All right. Does anybody have any questions to follow up? No? So I do have on my screen some upcoming classes that I will be doing. If anybody's interested, we'll be posting them on Unwind Westclox Facebook page, or you can contact me as well. But thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Jessie. So next week, we're going to have Jamie Warnkeys, and she's going to be going over stretches to get you comfortable, when meditating. She's also going to go over breath work and the benefits of breathing, even some techniques that you can take with you to practice throughout your day. So hope to see you all next Tuesday night. Thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful week practicing some mindful meditation practices. Thank you,
Yes.
Emily.
Yes, thank you, Jessie and Abby. And definitely be sure you check in next week for our third in our 4-part series.
Thanks, Emily.